tea. Let's get that. I don't know. So, welcome back. Today, I am just quickly farming some books. I'm going up to the end boss of this level every time. I can't remember the dude's name, but he's got a high chance of dropping class mods. I need the book for the Siren and the lunchbox for the Necromancer for myself and my partner. Just, it makes things a little bit easier. And it's an orange, it doesn't really matter all that much what level it is. You're going to keep using it. It's going to stick around. So, it's something I can sort of do on the side while I wait for the misses. We were going to play today. I think she's asleep still. Terminated. I'm currently waiting on a work transfer, so she's in a different state. I'm here. This is really the only time we sort of get together at the moment. It's just online gaming, so yeah, while she's still asleep, and I think it's like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock there. I don't know, it might be later, but I'm just waiting on her. So, while I wait, I might as well farm for this little class mod. And the only problem is, if anyone watches this, it's going to be absolutely excruciating to watch, because I'm colorblind. So, all of that looks orange. All of it. Like, that gun I can see is green, everything else looks orange. So I have no idea. Oh, there you go. I had no idea that was even there. But, annoyingly enough, 2 Gunzerker class mods. And I think I know which one is better. Jesus Christ. We'll get rid of that one. We'll keep that one. So I guess I don't really have to look around through all this, because there's not going to be anything else. We got a skin, but I can't do anything with the skin. The missus never got the Lilith DLC. So we'll save quick. Yeah, she never got the Lilith DLC, because she got interested in playing Borderlands 2 after, not only after it was free on the PlayStation Network, but after the deadline run out for the Lilith DLC. It would have been fantastic if they'd kept it available as a free DLC. She's really interested in giving it a shot, trying out the rainbow stuff. She thinks it looks really cool. Right now, we are begrudgingly going through Hammerlock's big game hunt. So, shit, if I could spice that up a bit, hell yeah. But it's like 10 or 15 bucks here for something that we may not even be able to get through, because she's really only got this weekend to play, and I've got something at like 1 o'clock today. So, yeah, I don't even know if she's awake, and even then, we've only got a couple hours. You know, and we take our time as well. Our kid's over there, so she can be a fair bit of a distraction. It's just, yeah, I couldn't see paying 10 or 15 bucks for something we might not even get through. We might not have the fun for it. Which is kind of sad, but, you know, it's just the way life works. Looking forward to Borderlands 3, and I'm going to be streaming that. I can't wait for Borderlands 3. I cannot wait. Already yum.
Right in the wing nut. You're bringing
So good. Death Trap lasts just about as long as he needs to. Like, I get to this point here, and it's like, oh, he runs out and I don't get my, speed boost anymore. Oh well. It gets me through most of the level, which is nice. Right. God, I hate being colorblind. Even with, like, the colorblind options, it does nothing for me. I just can't tell. Like, there are those glasses that can help you. Oh, pyrophobia. Okay. That might be a bit of fun. Oh, what was it? Was that 32? No, 38. We are 40 something. 36,000. I think the best I've got is a 22,000 rocket. So that actually might be a bit of fun. God, what was I saying? Yeah, I don't even know if I'd qualify for those corrective lenses. I have such a hard time with colors altogether. It's not fun. The money really, like the money and the oranges really throw me for a loop. Sometimes I can tell, like if I stand here, the green in front of me and the green behind it is two different greens. Like the one in front looks darker, the one behind looks lighter. It's weird. It is so weird. I don't know how to explain it. They're both the same color, I know that, but to me they look like two different colors. And it throws me through a fucking loop. Now this one looks darker and that one looks lighter. And it's just literally based on the distance. It's an annoying thing to have to deal with. I'm so looking forward to Borderlands 3 because like at orange they start to get a bit of flair to them. And that's a noticeable flair. I'm so looking forward to that. And even if I do miss them, they get sent back to Sanctuary 3. Oh, I can't tell you how jazzed I am that that's a thing. How just absolutely jazzed I am that that's the thing. Because I used to play online with friends, two other friends, and they would, like, I'd be fighting, and they'd make a mad dash to the boss when as soon as it dropped. They'd be fighting over the orange. I'd think I'd be running towards the orange, and it was just money on the ground. Like, I can't tell. It was disheartening every time, because I just never had, like, I was usually always the last one standing as well. One of the friends was very gung-ho, would always run into the fight, and drop down to fight for your life constantly, but could never get back up. You'd spend the start of the fight just reviving the dude, and then he'd die. And then the other one, she'd cloak, or any ability that would help her cloak. She'd cloak and run off somewhere, and then usually die randomly. Curse the game that she died because she was cloaked, and then yeah, and she'd be dead as well. And I'd usually just be the last person standing doing this massive fight on my own. And yeah, and then these motherfuckers would just come up and steal the loot, and they'd fight over it. But yeah, just never having the opportunity. I'd always have to have the dregs that were sort of left around. Like I'd constantly be rocking purples and nothing else. Unless they were generous enough to help me out, but yeah, it sucked. But hey, instant salute. Don't have to do that again in Borderlands 3. None of that stuff that just made the game, like, thank God the game's just fucking fun at the end of the day. And a lot of the other guns are fun as well. Thank God, because, yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Wait to Discord.
Alright. We got an anti-faction grenade. That's interesting. It's not what I'm chasing though. I want them class mods, boy. I'm also just farming Chronicle quests in Bleach Brave Souls, trying to get myself the orbs that are in the shop behind it, just to make the next pull a bit more interesting. I'm pretty sure I've either got just to oh, it's a Psycho one. God damn it. You're kidding. Let's take the star off that, because I don't want to have a star on it. You're kidding. Yeah, I want to make the pull a bit more interesting, so I'm farming to get more orbs and more tickets. I think there's tickets in the store as well. I'm still trying to get Sai Soloporo. Someone asked me, why are you going so ham on him? He's not that great. But his ability, back when I first started doing, trying to farm link slot potions, you could obviously run through the level just fine. But if you wanted to auto it, it became a bit more of a struggle. And having Christmas Nemu able to just, at the start of every run, you tap her ability and then swap to like Retsu, that extra last-ditch survival on all of your characters made a huge difference, like a monumental difference. That's 3 LDSs for free straight out of the gate. It was beautiful, and then you could auto the rest of the way, because you're not going to use the super at the end, you're autoing. And yeah, it just made the runs so much easier. There are 3 characters in the game I'm aware of that can do it, and I have one. Christmas Nemu. I've spent about 8,500, 8,600 orbs trying to get the 1,000-Year Blood War Urahara Kisuke, and he's the second one to get it. He's the tech character. He's the second one that's got it. The third one is Saizo Laporo, and he's mined. So I've already got Christmas Nemu for Heart, so I don't need, if another Heart one was to ever come out, I don't need to farm for it. I don't really want it. But I do want the 1,000-Year Blood War Kisuke, and I do want the Can't Fear Your Own World Saizo Laporo. Like, they've already said back in July, Caleb's already said that we'll be getting another, like, progression character upgrade system. I'm guessing it's going to be something like link slot potions or droplets, or they've already talked about it. They've already said that they're going to be introducing something else. And if it's going to be a single ticket only type deal, like the link slot potions were, then you're going to need a good auto team. You're going to need a strong and reliable auto team. And having that 3 extra LDS on your auto team can make or break the runs. So if I'm able to get Sai Zelaporo done, that'd make a huge difference. It'd really, really help. So that's my aim, is to really try and push that future progression. Like, I'm covered now. As far as characters go, I'm just pulling for what I like. Like, I've got enough good characters, I'm basically covered. You know? You sort of, oh, I like the look of this character, I'm going to grab it. And that's a lot of people's jams, but as far as stuff goes that you actually need, I feel like this... Oh, fuck off! Another Psycho one? I got 2 Gunzerker and 2 Psycho class mods. That's incredible. Yeah, as far as stuff goes that I actually need, I do believe that Saizo Laporo is going to be one I need. Let's get rid of that one. That's my theory anyway. That's how I'm thinking of why I'm pulling for him so hard. And I think I just got enough baggies from the Chronicle quests to cover all my purchases that I need for this month. So that works out well. Now I can start working on jewels and crystals for the 5 and 6 star characters. That works out well. Alright, PvP. 25 minutes until I get a new ticket, and then I can get the free +5 tickets as well. I'm actually doing surprisingly well for PvP this week. I'm in 3rd seat, and I'm still in the green in 3rd seat. Don't know how long that's going to stay. Usually I check at the end of the night to spend more tickets to try and stay there, and I'm well and truly in the red. But we'll see how we go. This is looking promising, and if I can stay there, this will be the first week I've ever stayed in 3rd seat PvP. So I'll be very happy if I can pull that off. But I've been thinking about my PvP team and just how I can maximize my survivability and damage. A lot of people are completely reliant at the level I'm at for the Golden Chappies. Golden Chappie seems to be huge, like a huge fucking deal. Golden Pupple is usable, I guess. Like you could use a Golden Pupple, Rego Pupple, and something else. But yeah, the Chappie's where it's at. I have 3 Golden Chappies. But with the characters I'm currently using in PvP, one of them is using a Golden Chappie and the other 2 aren't. My Noitora doesn't use the Chappie, I don't have one for Mind. And my Kenny, I'm using a regular Chappie and 2 other items. I could re-roll, like, the roll sucks on my Golden Pupples. But I could re-roll Pupples and have him with a double Pupples and his item on there. But, yeah. I've been thinking, like, alright, well, I've got a tech, what is it? I've got a tech Golden Chappie. I've got a tech Golden Chappie, and I've got a heart Golden Chappie. So I've been thinking like, oh, do I run Urahara? Yes! Yes! There is the class mod for the misses. And with a cooldown plus 30%, I'm sure she'll be very happy with that. We finally got the class mod for her. Now we're just looking for the sirens. Yes, I've been thinking of running like a... I've got an Unahana at 10-10-10. Chad is using one of the chappies, and he's 10-10-10. And then the only one I need to work on is one-handed Yama, and he could be the 3rd slot. But then it worries me having 2 captains in the team, because almost every character in PvP has a captain killer. So it's borderline suicide bringing captains. I'm bringing Kenny, and he drops like a sack of shit a lot of the time, because he's always up against a captain killer. Or a Chad. Which, you know, what's better at that point? That speed advantage, holy fuck. There's no other way to describe it. It's just like, Chad, Kenny will go up against each other, and Chad will just fucking flog him. And I don't think Chad's that great. I gotta be honest. Like, as soon as the meta shifts and Chad's no longer seen as reliable, like, it's just Noitora with his boost is good enough, I can't wait. Because I think Chad sucks. I'm not a big fan of using Chad. But yeah, I'm just wondering, like, alright, I have 3 chappies. I can always 10-10-10 one-handed Yammer. Is it worth running those 3 characters at their maximum potential? Or am I better off running... Because, like, you've got Noitora for the coverage. He's the Unohana killer. Plus, he's also not a captain. So you've also got that going for him. There's a few Sparta killers, but not a lot. Kenny, he's weakening and his attacks are just massive. On the second, he's got the moving vortex that hits a lot of times as well. It just seems like that's really beneficial there. Is it worth, you know, my question is it worth swapping out the Noitora and the Kenny for a Unohana and a one-handed Yammer with golden chappies? Like, does the golden chappies make that much of a difference? I just don't know.
More hurt for the Discord.
And it's hard to sort of work out, you know. You've got to invest so much into getting to that point where you can actually test it. And it could just be an absolute dud, you know? Like, I could just waste my time. Oh my god. The oranges are dropping and they don't stop dropping. Back to the floor and I hit the ground running. Can't tell if it's orange or green. And I'm surrounded by big ass trees. This looks like it's about it. I'm not seeing anything else. Holy crap, 2 oranges. Like 2 orange guns. That's a surprise. I was shocked before when I got the class mod. Because I just didn't expect... Yeah, I didn't expect to even just see 2 oranges. I've seen a rainbow and an orange, but never 2 oranges. Yeah, so I got two days on this banner left, so I'll probably do a recording tomorrow. Now that I've also farmed out the Chronicle quests and get more orbs, do stuff like that. I can run my tickets tomorrow. Try and get a character up to 150. A couple of 5 stars up to 100. Just try and maximize the amount of orbs I can get. And then run a singles pull. Got the tickets, so maybe I can just get a rando. And we'll just try our best. There's no other way to do it. So all these oranges are nice, but yeah, I think the missus will be happy with what I've got for her.
You are a mean machine.
Looks like we're on, guys. For new Pandora. I didn't kill him.
Oh, no iridium.
Buffing that Discord.
Another anti-infection. So we got another rainbow to drop. And an orange conference call. God damn. That's one of those guns I'll like show to the missus and she'll be like, I just don't think it's that good. And then I'll start using it and she'll be like, oh, where did you get that shotgun from? It looks really cool. She's done that a few times. She's just had no idea what, like, I'll be like, no, this is actually a really good gun. Like, it's really usable. A lot of people use it end game. Like, it's really good. And she'll just be like, oh no, I'm not a big fan of it. There's other stuff she'll pick up and she'll be like, oh, this is the best. And it'll be like a rocket that shoots multiple rockets and stuff like that. But, you know, I'll be rocking, there's like a poor man's version of the Northfleet. Like an iridium version of the Northfleet. It might have been magenta. And she's like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. It hurts me. It's like, okay. I'll take the bargain, Northfleet. I don't care. God, I held on to that for about 16 levels too. It was so low and it was still the best rocket I'd seen. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Can't get this song out of my head. That Smash Mouth's All Star. It keeps coming and it don't stop coming. Like, it's just this thing that every now and then online, you'll hear it again for some dumb reason. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, now it's going to be stuck in my head again. And then, I know I've done this for anyone that's watching this. I know I've now just done it for them. But, I think we have a Shrek reboot coming out in the next year or so. I remember seeing some news about it. Like, oh, they're going to be rebooting Shrek. It's like, we don't need that. I know some people that still would go back and watch the classic Shrek movie. My kid loves them.
You are a mean machine.
And, for a 3-year-old, pretty damn smart. Because she knows that, the third one sucks. And it's not as good as the other ones.
Can't wait to Discord. Not bad.
Another madhouse. A flacker. Flack the world. I've been telling the missus about that gun. I'm like, they've named a gun after me. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, there's a flak cannon in here. Don't think my poor old Siren's gonna get a class mod though. Is that orange or is that green? Yeah, I don't think my Siren's getting a class mod anytime soon. There's a new meme that's been happening now that's got this like do 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 like that. And I Shazammed it, and it was just like random, just, beats. I'm like, fuck yeah, like, this is my jam. I really like this. Found out later it was a Kanye West song, and like that particular part is from the start of the Kanye West song. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot, because I do like that little, like, loop. It happens for maybe fucking 20 seconds of his song, and then just disappears. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it just turns into this very, I guess, monotone pop rap in a way. Like, I did not enjoy it. It sort of lost the groove for me. Like that very chilled, eerie groove. But just the original beat was just sort of dropping. So I actually just downloaded that original beat that I found when I Shazammed it. I'm like, yep, fuck. This is my jam.
Good one, babe. Attaboy.
And it's really annoying when you're like a song will get memed, and you're like, hey, this is pretty catchy. And then you go to check out the full song, and you're like, oh wow, the full song, like, that was the best bit of the whole song. Like, there's nothing really better. Like, big wave emotional prism.
Machine.
The start of that song is very, like, bouncy, catchy, It's such a good song. And then I think it does like 2 of its little verse pieces or whatever, and then just changes to a completely different song for the rest of it. And to me, it just ruins the song. I'm like, I'd rather just have the opening than actually have the full song. So that was one. The Kanye West one was another one. There was a third one where I'm just like, oh, god damn it. But I think it was like I don't even know what type of... Oh, it's an orange. Nasty Surprise, it's different. Yeah, it was a different sort of... I think it was like a techno song or something. I can't quite remember. And, it was basically like one small, quick loop in that song was the part that was memed. And it was the only part of that song that was actually good. The rest of it completely sucked. And I've picked up some good songs that I like that I'll listen through. You can't listen to them too much, obviously, because they've just been memed out the fucking ass. But, what was that Star one? Shooting Star? That song ain't too bad. And, like, if I'm just chilling out, like I did the drive to Adelaide and back, which is, what, 8, 9, 10 hours? Something ridiculous. Like, when that song came on, I'm just like, alright, well, it's just one of these 200 to 300 songs I've got. Fuck it, let's just let it jam out. If I'm in that sort of state where I'm trying to get pumped, or, I've just... Like, my mind, a lot of the time I think of different scenarios and stuff for characters and shows, and I come up with all these different ideas. Like, if I'm in a mindset of I'm thinking of something, then I won't play songs like that. But, yeah, if I'm just jamming out and chilling out on a long drive, I don't mind when it comes on. It's really weird, like, the way my mind works. Like, let's say I chuck on some music, I'll hop in the shower. If it's something that's kind of catchy, I'll start getting... Like, my mind starts flashing images, then puts them together as, like... It's weird, it's sort of like an AMV for something I'm interested in. Whether it's a game, whether it's a show, like, I'll just... It'll put like snippets of like new characters together. It might even mix some original characters from whatever content or world I'm thinking about. So for example, I thought it'd be cool to have in the world of Ruby, is one character that is able to, her semblance is able to control bone, but she can only control bone that she can touch. So for the longest time, she doesn't actually know what her semblance is.
Right in the
But then when she goes to get attacked by a, God, what are they're not shadows, they're not hollows. What are the enemies called in that
Back the robot.
show? Whatever they're called, we're just gonna call them hollows because I'm thinking about Bleach hollows. She finds out when she's about to get killed by one of the little hollow things that when she touches the mask is made out of bone, and she can just crumble the mask. So at that point she's like, oh, like now I know what my semblance is. It's bone. And yeah, ends up like crushing a lot of the other hollows or whatever, and forming it into her weapon. And my idea of her weapon would be a scythe that is completely made out of bone. It's got like a spine for the staff part, and then at both ends you've got a scythe, one going down, one going up, curving out. So it's sort of like a yin and yang type deal, with a skull on the end, and then the blade coming out of the mouth of the skull. Or, you know, having the skull facing the other way, facing out from the weapon, and the blade comes off the back of its head. Either way, that's how I'd go about it. And I was fucking jazzed when they introduced that character. I think they just called her Reaper, where she came in and had the same sort of thing I was thinking of, but it was instead of being bone, it was just like little, like almost like magnet parts, so she could send out the scythe flying and then repel it back into her hand. But it had the skull on it and everything. And yeah, my idea was, because she can control and manipulate bone, she could send her scythe out and bring it back. And then seeing like the Day of the Dead type sort of aesthetic all over the weapon and having that skull on there as well, I'm just like, yeah, it was like she could put it together and spin them around and all that sort of stuff, which was sort of like what I was thinking anyway. And I'd been thinking about this character for like a year and how I'd introduce her, like what's her backstory, anything like that. And seeing that Rooster Teeth actually introduced a character that was sort of similar, like the similar sort of mindset, but having that sort of like influence, like the Mexican holiday influence, like that's something I'd never would have thought of at all. Because like in Australia, our culture, we're not influenced by Mexican culture too much. Like we don't have a Day of the Dead type thing. We don't have, like, we barely even have a Halloween, and we really just don't. Like, maybe 6 houses in a town might celebrate Halloween, and that's it. Like, there's nothing here. So it was never an influence, and even then, I don't think Halloween is even linked to that. I think it was just like, all I know about is Day of the Dead, and I don't even know if it's called Day of the Dead. But that's all I know. Like, it's just, we're so far out of the loop when it comes to the rest of the world here in Australia. It's just, everything's hot, we're all dying, and every animal is trying to kill us. Even the cute and cuddly ones. So, my point is, it was so good to see that sort of influence on the weapons. And it was something I never thought of. It was something I liked. I did like the idea of it being, in my head, bone, and because like in the show, her semblance is just like, oh, I just have slightly better reflexes than normal. It's like, that kind of sucks, you know. You're this big you're the big best hunter in the goddamn world, but you're slightly better. That kind of sucks. Like, sure, it makes her sound like she's more skillful. Like, oh, everything I was able to do is because I also have that skill to back it up. but at the same time,
Don't worry, baby. I'll take
that
good
kind of
care
sucks.
you.
Yeah, like I had this whole like grand thought about how like designing a character that was able to control Bone. Um, she found out from the it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember the name of these bloody things like 4 hours later. I'll be taking a dump and I'll be like, oh, they're called this. It'll drive me insane. I cannot remember what the bloody hollows are called or whatever they are in that show. But yeah, and I then got into this thought process of like, all right, well, if she's in that position where she has them, like she's in a position where she's basically defeated and these things are coming to get her, what would put her in that scenario? And then I started thinking like, oh, well, like what's her backstory? Who is this character? And then I thought it'd be cool to mix up the backstory of the Schnees and Weiss Schnee. Because it's like, oh, we're semblance, but, you know, our, it, our semblance is glyphs, but it's always handed down in the family. Like, every Schnee has glyphs or whatever like that. And the Schnees are also against the, um, what is it, the Faunus? Like, oh, we will not have a Faunus in our family, or oh, we don't like the Faunus, or blah 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 blah, whatever the fuck they talk about. My idea was like Weiss's uncle ended up marrying and having a child with a Faunus woman, and this character that can control Bone was the one that I was thinking of that would be that child. Um, and let's say on like, you know, dust was being delivered by train to another area. All the Schnees are on the train, and then Weiss's dad, who despises the Faunus,
Love you, bud.
might do something to get rid of the child. Let's say the mum dies at birth or something like that. Like, I've thought about different scenarios, but nothing that really sort of is dead set. But one thing that has always weirded me out, like, I've always thought that's odd, is that Weiss, like, what do you mean the Schnee family is the only family to have glyphs? That, you know, they're the only ones to have it travel through the family. And I always found that weird. My thought is their semblance isn't glyphs at all. It's inheritance. Their entire semblance is inheritance. And they inherit the skills that both their parents had. So if, for example, Weiss's cousin, this character I've been thinking of, can control. There's another Necro one. If she can control Bone, that's actually was her mother's skill. She has the skill to use glyphs, but she hasn't learnt how to use glyphs. And so I thought that would also be like a good introduction to, you know, let's say there was an explosion on the train. She sort of gets lost in the explosion, but on purpose, and gets tossed out onto the tracks nearby. You know, those hollow things come in, they go to kill her, but she touches one of them on the mask just before it can, and it like implodes into its mask. That's when she learns, okay, I can control Bone and stuff like that. Then, you know, her whole story could be hunting down Weiss's father, the person that wronged her, you know, tried killing her off, removing her as a Schnee, like nobody needs to know she's existed. She was only a small child when this happened, and now she's like a teenager, at the same age as Weiss maybe. So maybe Weiss didn't even remember her existing back then or anything like that. And I thought that would be much more interesting. And it was the show that gave me the idea that the Schnee family's semblance was actually inheritance. Because I find it so weird. It is such an odd thing. And you can't tell, this entire world that they've made, this entire world, there is one family that has the exact same semblance passed down through the family. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, my thought is, yeah, it didn't make sense to the uncle. The uncle met someone and fell in love with someone, but found out that she had a difference, like, well, you know, she wasn't someone that didn't have, because I'm pretty sure in that show, there's some people that just don't have a semblance. Like, Jean has something, but they can't work out what it is. Like, maybe his aura is just super big, I don't fucking know. But he hasn't really shown a semblance. But, yeah, maybe there's just people that don't have a semblance, and the Schnee family would marry and, you know, give or have birth with these people, so the Schnee thing would sort of pass down. So they always thought of it like, oh, we have to keep this pure so our glyph will pass down. Where the truth is, their whole thing is actually inheritance, and they were screwing themselves over. They could actually have two abilities instead of one, or like an amalgamation of both abilities. So I thought that was, you know, that was my thought process anyway on that character. I don't even know why this started. This talk about that character that I've just been thinking of started. But I do think it'd be so cool to, if there ever comes a time where we can, like, there's a competition and we can suggest a character. My God, am I going in depth? I'm writing a whole backstory. I'm going to hire an artist. It's probably going to cost me way too much. Like, something I probably can't even afford. But I'm going to do it anyway. Like, I want to get the idea in my head across 100%. Emperor, I think that's new. And I just want to get that idea across and be like, this is what's in my head. This is what's in my head. I need to get this out. I need to tell these people. And yeah, if they were the people that were actually going to listen, oh my God. I'd be so happy. It's something I really just want to flesh out in my spare time anyway. Like, I do have that idea of, like, the whole, she's part of the Schnee family, then this whole Schnee backstory, their semblance is actually inheritance and not glyphs, and all that sort of stuff. Like, it all just, barrels around in my head. I'm just unsure about, like, how I'd actually put that down into a story. That's my idea anyway. So, I just got a message from the lovely missus. She's awake, which is good news. So we'll get one last run in here. Hopefully she'll pop online soon. And then I'll send this character over to her and we can trade. I'll give her a look at all these guns. She can have a bit of fun just pissing around while I swap to the Siren, and, you know, she can get a class mod. I'll make her happy. So I might have to finish this stream soon, so I can spend some time with her. God damn, my PS4 is getting super loud lately. I'm planning on going out and seeing my, basically my parents. They're like my second parents. But I'll be going out to see them next weekend. I'll have to take out my PlayStation and my PC here, and just get the air gun out, just blow them out. Like, my PC's always been loud, but I can see dust starting. Like, I'm starting to get like that feel. I wouldn't say a layer, but there's like a small film of dust. I need to get in there and sort of clear out. Another anti-infection. Great. Yeah, so I think I want to take the PlayStation out and PC out and just air them out. Get the air gun in there and clean them out a bit. Because the PlayStation gets so loud. I don't even know if, like, I can do that. Or to what extent I can actually clean it out. Hopefully I can just go the whole hog and give it a good clean out the fans and stuff like that. But I've never opened up the PlayStation before. I might have to look into that. Might have to look into that before I start. Alright. So I've let the missus know what I've got for her. She's still not online yet. So maybe she's just getting breakfast ready for the kid, and then... yeah. I might end it here. Might end the stream here. I had one person pop in for 10 seconds. I saw you. Oh, I saw you. 10 seconds. New record. Anyway, thanks for watching. This VOD's going to go up on YouTube anyway. If you do like it, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatevs. I'd love to be able to take my time to turn this into a job. Actually set up, like, I could get the cash, buy the whatever, Elgato or whatever. I'd love to actually set this up and make it look good. Actually record it properly. Right now, this is just, as time is, this is just the easiest thing I have to do. If I could turn this into a full-time job, hot diggity damn, I'd start putting time into it. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you around.